What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 147 pounds between the current champion Roly Romero and the challenger Teofimo Lopez. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? And down pinned in the comment section below is a link to become the newest member of our world famous professional betting Discord, the JSB Discord. We started this a year ago. We just surpassed 600 VIPs. By joining this membership, it's a monthly membership, it's only a couple bucks a month, you get access to all my picks, all my tips, dogs of the week, but more importantly, you gain access to our betting community. It's not just fighting, it's not just boxing or MMA, college football season's coming up, NFL, golf, baseball, all pro sports. Click that link to find out more. We have another massive fight weekend upon us. There's fights all throughout the world. There's a big card in the UK, but today, this video takes us to the US, a world title fight. We like hearing that on the channel between a world champion and a former two-division world champion. In this fight, we're going to be breaking down the WBA world title at 147 between the champion Roly Romero and the challenger Teofimo Lopez. We're going to be taking a closer look at both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business. And like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be giving you Las Vegas current odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction. Also, if you're still hanging around at the end, I'm going to give you my favorite double prop play of the week, so stay tuned. Teofimo Lopez, with a victory this weekend against Roly, has an opportunity to become a three-division world champion. The last time we saw him, things did not go his way. Although he was in there with the sport's best, Shakurstevenson, he fell completely flat in this fight. A lot of people face Shakur and they look mediocre. I think it's more of a testament to how great Shakurstevenson is than how mediocre his opponents are. Teofimo Lopez is a guy who's always going to be ultra confident. Physically, he's always going to be prepared. We've seen him win world titles in multiple divisions. We've seen him at his best in fights against Lomachenko, the fight against Josh Taylor. Over his career, it's fair to say, without sounding like a hater, even through some close wins, you do kind of have some questions psychologically. Where is Teo's head at? What he does really well, gifted athlete, athleticism. He's really tricky in there. He has good timing, good hand speed. We remember his wins against Josh Taylor, like I talked about. Some people would say, well, Josh really was a shell of himself that night. It was still a victory. The win against Lomachenko I talked about, in my opinion, that's Teo at his best. He had close fights with Sandro Martin, a close fight with Steve Claggett. We saw the fight at Times Square against Arnold Barboza Jr., a fight in which he was in total control. And I feel that that fight has aged really well, considering what Arnold has looked since coming off his big win against Kenneth Sims Jr. Arnold Barboza is a tricky fighter in there too, and Teofimo Lopez was never in trouble and controlled the distance, controlled the range, and won a wide points decision. Come fight night, Teo, to be at his best, we do know a couple things, so keep in mind, he's never fought at 147 before. The psychological questions are always going to be there. Like I said, which Teo is going to show up? And in his opponent, Roly Romero, we know that these guys basically grew up together on the amateur scene. We've watched Fight Week, we've watched the interviews all week. You would see a camaraderie between the two. It's a little bit refreshing to actually see. And talking to the bettors all week on my live streams, some people are actually a little bit hesitant on, are they being too friendly? Are they being sincere? Will they carry each other come fight night? I don't think so. When Roly gets cooking, we know what he does at his best. We know about his power. We know about his hook. In my opinion, at the beginning of his career, if you would have said Roly Romero by his late 20s would be a two-division world champion, I don't know how many people would have believed you. Romero's coming off his best win so far, at least on paper, against Ryangarcia on that same card in which Teo beat Barboza in Times Square. Romero won a points decision, dropped Ryan early, and with that power, proved to tame or domesticate Garcia the rest of the fight. You can also dissect Romero's career and find flaws in that if we want to play boxing maths. He's had close fights. Some people say won or lost. The Jackson Marinez fight, the awkward stoppage against Barroso. But all in all, on paper, the history books will say he is and will always be a two-division world champion. What he does really well, I think he's really slept on in terms of controlling range and distance. People talk about Roly as just being a puncher, but he has great base, he has a great foundation and great balance. And I tell everybody who wants to hear it, this comes from his high amateur, nationally accredited judoku background. So those who don't know, judo players. And it's a base in a lot of UFC fighters, standing, submissions, throws, a lot of grappling on the feet. And I know people are like, how does that relate to boxing? Well, it does. In the pocket, head control, his base and foundation, like I said a lot. Roly Romero is a really strong fighter all around. I think he kind of thrives on the fact of people maybe underselling him or selling him short due to some of his media takes. But don't get it twisted. Come fight night, he's always going to be in shape. He's always going to be prepared. And this is a kid who thinks he's always going to win. Now, before we look at the odds, I do want to take a quick look at both fighters' careers and refresh everyone's memory and talk a little bit about what they've been up to, who they've been fighting, and what those results were. All right, guys, let's first take a look at the challenger, Teofimo Lopez, and see what he's been up to. Guys, Teofimo Lopez is 22-2. Of his 22 wins, 13 of them come by way of knockout. His 2 losses were on points. He's never been stopped. Even though he's never fought at 147, the BoxRec algorithm has him ranked 6 out of 2,752 fighters in the world at 147. He's fought a career total of 161 pro rounds and carries in the ring a 59% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Takeover, and the 29-year-old American is a 5'9" orthodox fighter with a 68-inch reach. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, but calls Las Vegas, Nevada, USA home. We last saw him fight Shakurstevenson, 24-0, lost to UD in the 12th. Arnold Barbosa Jr., 32-0, won a UD in the 12th. Steve Claggett, 38-7, won a UD in the 12th. Jermaine Ortiz, 17-1, won a UD in the 12th. Josh Taylor, 19-0, won a UD in the 12th. The fight before that was a very close split decision against Sandor Martin, and the fight before that back in 2022 was his last knockout victory against Pedro Campo. When Teo is cooking, he is a joy to watch. This is a kid who relies a lot on intuitiveness, reflexes, athleticism, speed, skills, being able to put himself in a position to score points and then get out of the way in time not to get hit. The one downside for me on Teofimo Lopez I always talk about is which one will show up. Where's his mind at? Where's his psychology at? Is he willing to get hurt in a fight? This might sound crazy, but obviously no fighter wants to show up on fight night and choose to get hurt. Why I say it that way is because when you're watching Teo's fights as of late, he does seem a little bit hesitant to punch with his opponents. Now, is that just because he's a little bit older, a little bit smarter, more on the line? When he was 21, 22, he used to be a lot more aggressive. He used to take a lot more risks. That being said, I think he's going to hold the speed advantage. He's going to hold the reflex advantage and the overall skill set advantage. But we know this is boxing, and sometimes the tools on paper that you could chart aren't always enough to get the job done. So all you Teofimo Lopez bettors, that's something to think about. Personally, watching all of his training camp, I do like what I've seen. I like what he said in the press. I like how he's carrying himself this week. I like how he addressed the issues with his father. And come fight night, I do expect Teo, making his debut at 47, to be really prepared, really in shape, and ready to become a 3-division world champion. Now let's take a quick look at the current WBA champ, Roly Romero, and see what he's been up to in his career. Roly is 17-2. Of his 17 wins, 13 of them come by way of knockout. Of his 2 losses, he's been stopped twice. So Roly has never lost a decision. Both of his losses, Pitbull and Tank, he got stopped. Due to inactivity, he's not currently ranked in the welterweight division. That kind of goes to show the BoxRec up and down rankings. You have a kid in Teo who's never fought at 47, who's ranked. You have a kid in Roly who's a world champion at 47 who's not ranked. Whatever it may be, his adoring fans know him as Roly. He's fought a career total of 96 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 76 career knockout to win ratio. The American is a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 68-inch reach. He was born and lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. We last saw him fight Ryangarcia, 24-1, won a UD in the 12th. Manuel Jaime, 16-1, won a UD in the 10th. Pitbull, 25-2, he got stopped in the 8th. Barbosa, 24-3, he stopped him in the 9th. Tank Davis, 26-0, He got stopped in the 6th. The fight before that, he fought Anthony and he won by knockout. I think with Roly Romero, like I said earlier, what he does really well and what I feel his path to victory should be is be patient like he is. He's not going to out-volume or out-punch Teofimo Lopez, but I feel for him to be successful, he's going to time Teofimo Lopez. He's going to obviously want to land his power shots early and get the respect of TL to try to negate that pressure. Now, will Teo choose the pressure off the bat? I don't know. Will this fight be a firefight? It could be. Will it be one of these fights where there's not a lot of volume? It could also be. Rumors of the sparring, we saw footage of the sparring. Everyone says Teofimo Lopez got the best of it. I put 0 relevance in sparring footage. Just to let you know, sparring is 100% different from a fight. It's different psychologically, it's different mentally, it's different in all things stakes and execution as well. Roly Romero is a champion. He's looking to defend, just like I said about Teo. He's going to come prepared. You've never seen this kid out of shape, and he has complete belief in his skill set. So guys, I feel and I hope for fans that we see the first bit of what I said, a firefight. I want to see these guys go for it. I want to see these guys fight brave and try to test each other's mettle. Only time will tell. Before I get into the current Las Vegas odds and give you my prediction, I do live streams every day. So if you're new here, hit the notification button. In those live streams, I take our VIPs' questions in real time. We build parlays together. We don't just talk about the upcoming fight cards. We talk about the UFC, and we don't just cover these big pay-per-view cards. We cover all the fights, domestic Australia, domestic Japan, domestic Mexico. So make sure you hit notifications and make sure you hit subscribe. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull out our betting apps. Currently on the money line, the world champion defending his belt, Roly Romero, is the dog at plus 215. You put $100 on Roly, you get your money back plus 215 bucks. Teo, the favorite, is $1.41, 41% return on a $100 bet, meaning you get $41 back. If you're new to my channel, especially from the betting side, I take pride in all of the bets, all of the tips, all the parlays I give my boys week in and week out. I never give you a ticket that isn't plus money. What's that mean? I never give you a ticket that you're not doubling your bankroll. So personally, I'm gonna go with an new. I think Teofimo Lopez's skill set overall will be enough to become a 3-division world champion. On the money line, I am playing Teofimo Lopez paired with a couple other fighters to create a multi, which gives me plus money. But the prop I really like, it's one of my favorite props of the weekend. And if you're still here at the end of the video watching this, look at the screen. This double, you take Teo on points at 80% return and you mix that with the knockout prop, you're doubling your money. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. In the comment section below, all you Roly fans, let me know why I'm wrong. And like always, after the fight, we'll circle the wagons and talk about it. Guys, stay tuned to the channel. There's a lot of fights I'm gonna be breaking down. Make sure you hit notifications. Make sure you hit subscribe. And more importantly, I'll catch you in the next one.